Tsi-tsi-ki. I was born and raised in Michoacán, Mexico, before coming to the US. I've been here for quite some time, but I arrived here in the US when I was about your age. I was 15 years old. Right now, I anchor newscasts, and I've been doing this for a long time already. I'm not gonna say for how long, to be honest. I live in Washington, D.C., and I do the 6 p.m., the 11 p.m. every day. It's a little tough sometimes. It's a very demanding job, but I love what I do. I get to interview senators, I get to interview congressmen, I get to interview and make sure that the questions are asked and that I get the answers that we need. I love what I do. In fact, I get to do debates. I've moderated senatorial debates that have placed important people that make decisions that impact your life and my life on a daily basis. So it's pretty cool. So that's one shot from Noticias Univision Washington, and that's something that I constantly do. I do a lot of interviews. I do a lot of questions and debates. I moderate. I also get to do a lot of events where I present governors and moderating different subjects that impact our daily life. For instance, I went to a summit talking about social justice, talking about the equality, and how women nowadays still, believe it or not, still nowadays make 60 to 80 cents per every dollar that you boys are making. I'm not a hater. I just want equality. I want to make as much money as you do whenever you grow up, right? Don't we? I think it's important, and that is exactly what we're talking about today here. So I was covering the conventions. I was at the Republican convention, at the Democratic convention, and boy, was it hell. And what I mean by that is such a difference when it comes to knowing how every single person here in the US thinks. We're all different. Our interests are different. The decisions that take place constantly at the White House, at the Capitol, are all different, and they impact every single one of us constantly. I was born and raised in Mexico, Michoacán, Mexico, to be specific. That's my family. I'm the cute one in the bottom. Boy, was I cute, right? That's my mom, my dad. By the way, he's right here in the audience. Dad, where are you? Raise your hand. There you are. Thank you. So, I was born in Mexico into a family that we were middle class. We were very united, very religious, and what I thought was indestructible. I had a very nice childhood. I was very happy. Mexico is a great country. And I thought I had the best family, the best time in my life. Things changed. I moved to the US with my parents, my mom, my dad, and my 3 little sisters. I overstayed my visa, and we all became undocumented for years. We started living off of shelters. We didn't have money to buy clothes. We went from shelter to shelter to try to find food, drinking expired milk, getting boys' clothes to wear, even though I'm a girl. And I would go to high school, try to go to high school to learn the language, and I was ashamed because I was wearing boys' clothes, and we didn't have money. I was ashamed to go to shelter to try to survive with my mom because my dad had gone back to Mexico at that time. Things in Mexico were not doing too good, by the way. So what we did, we started working at a factory. My sister and I were getting up at 6 in the morning every day. And we were trying to take the metal out of airplane parts. My mom would work with us. Still, we did not make enough money to pay the rent for a single room. We were getting paid under the minimum wage because we weren't documented. And that was my reality. So I found myself trying to dream about donuts every day because that was my only consolation, the only sweet that I thought about. And I had no network. I had no friends. I did not know the language. I was afraid of ICE, of immigration. It was cold. I didn't have clothes to wear to go to school. We had no food. And this box of donuts that you see right here in the image was $1.99. And that was a crucial moment that I can remember right now.
I have two little sisters. One of them is, at that time, 5 years old. The other one was 4 years old. I was 15, and my other sister was 14. We didn't have money to eat. So that was what we could afford. Get that box of donuts for $1.99 at night so that we could fuel ourselves. I don't have to tell you more. It was a tough time, definitely. It was rough. We ended up going to school, working full time. I became a waitress. I was working at a McDonald's. I was trying to go to ESL classes to try to learn the language. And it was not easy, but I became a news anchor here in Chicago. And I was here for about 15 years. I was happy. I was accomplished. And I thought that I had overcome every single hardship that anybody can accomplish. When I was in Telemundo, Chicago, I had a great time. And I was always trying to make sure that I did my job the right and the best way. However, I always had the little interest in me to become an entrepreneur. So I decided to launch my makeup line after I finished my work with Telemundo. I was very excited. I launched my makeup line, and I thought I had everything under control again. One more time in my life, I was happy. My childhood was great, but I was happy again. And the reason I'm sharing with you this story is because the origins when I came to the US is just like every single one of you, with the exception of you guys here in the front, which are older, like 20, 25, right? But most of you are 15 years old, 16, 17. I wish somebody would have told me what I was supposed to expect in life and how to accomplish my goals. Nobody did. So I went ahead and tried to pursue my dream to become an entrepreneur. But when I was an entrepreneur, I became overwhelmed. And I'm sure a lot of you guys feel the same way. When you have a lot of decisions, when you've taken risks without calculations, without informing yourself the right way, everything can be blurry and everything can be tough, more than you would have thought. So by the time I launched my makeup line, I decided that I was gonna do great. So the perceived adrenaline that I was living through day to day, I was actually getting lost in myself. I was getting overwhelmed by decisions, sad, exhausted. Very few things will give me calm. Very few things will comfort me. I was mentally paralyzed. I don't know if you guys feel that at some points in your lives. When your mind cannot go forward, when you cannot even make a simple decision as to what you're gonna have for dessert because your mind is overwhelmed and saturated. That's how I felt. Everybody around me thought, oh, Tsi-tsi-ki, she's got it done. She's an entrepreneur. Her makeup line is doing great. Oh, wow, look at all the boutiques. They're all interested. But deep down, I felt lost and scared. I was in a very long-term relationship at the time, and despite my intentions, it kept failing. And I was emotionally drained at the same time. All the tension that I had accumulated started to wear me out to the point that I could not even get up in the mornings. And I kept asking myself, what did I do so wrong to feel this way? How could someone like me, who has overcome adversity in so many aspects in my life, still crying herself to sleep and not being able to get up the next morning to go on and make simple decisions on a daily basis? So what I did, I learned again. And this is what I can share with you. I learned the hard lessons. The first one is, you have to learn to say no. When people are asking you to do things, it's easy to say yes. No, say no. That creates space in your life. And that space allows you to do other things that you're supposed to get on, that will make you stronger and more successful. You have to build a network. Yeah, I have a lot of friends, quote unquote, acquaintances, people that I know, people that know me, but I had no real network. I had not chosen the people that I wanted to pursue my dreams with. I surrounded myself with people, but not a close network that will actually support me and be there for me at those times when I felt lost and scared. You have to prep and plan. Doesn't matter how great you're doing right now. Prepare. Plan. Make sure that you have a plan B. And if you don't have a plan B, make sure that you have a plan C. And if the plan C doesn't work, then go to Z. Doesn't matter. But always have something next for you. What helped me overcome this latest episode in my career, in my personal life, hardship, was also to compartmentalize. Why? Because we're very organized at home, at work, but our minds are constantly going. And I don't know about you all, but I'm constantly thinking. My mind doesn't stop. And instead of going from one place to the next, to the next, to the next, we gotta stop, take a step back, and think, how do I make my life better by saving energy more than anything and going to the next step? Scratch the stuff that you've already taken care of and make sure that you focus your energy and everything that you're thinking about on the things that are crucial at the moment. Don't clutter yourself. The most important thing is don't ever give up. That's crucial. And I'm no expert on this, but I can tell you that there were many times that I said, I don't know if I can go on. I'm too sad. I'm exhausted. I'm overwhelmed. There's nothing else for me. More important, you know how I felt? Ashamed. That people will realize what a failure I was at this stage in my life. Don't ever let that happen. Because adversity is always going to come back in life. If we don't have adversity in our lives, we're not going to become stronger. The more failures that you have make you a better, stronger, and more prepared person for your future. And at the end, you will be more successful than the rest.